Do you want to know a criticism that WWE gets a lot? It's too polished, or it's the Disney of wrestling, I believe is the phrase. It's designed to make your mum look at it and go, well, what's this? Then you'll see El Grande Americano duplicate himself and they'll likely get confused. On occasion though, WWE has tried to do things off the cuff and it went not great. Bad, some may say, but it could also be funny. So I am Simon Miller, the bald a-hole, and here's 8 times everything kind of fell in a toilet. Number 8, McMahon's $1 Million Mania. 2008 is when WWE was in a weird place. The Attitude Era was long gone, the Ruthless Aggression Era had pushed the envelope way too far, and we hadn't gone PG yet. As reality TV seemed to be popular, Vince McMahon decided to see if that could be the way for their newfound success. He would dub his version McMahon's $1 Million Mania, where if you tuned into Raw, you could win $1 million. I don't want to be horrible, but that's basically begging. Vince also made actual calls to people who were watching, and of course you can't script this, so sometimes he called the wrong number, often they didn't pick up, he got disconnected, rickrolled, and to be honest with you, it was excruciating TV. On one evening, all of those things I just listed happened during one of these segments. Sometimes it actually felt like Mr. Burns trying to use his telephone, and I really do not get how it would have worked anyway. No one believed it because it's wrestling, it's all lies and nonsense. No one is actually going to win any money, so I won't bother. I would give it to you in headline form. It was a really silly idea.
Before we go any further, I have a question for you. Come here. Are you ready for an awesome slots experience? Well, why not get involved, spin, win, and feel the thrill of Crown Coins Casino? Crown Coins Casino is a free-to-play, fun social casino game where you can win real prizes. Wait a second, let's run that back. It's a fun casino game where you can win amazing prizes and it's free to play. That's great. Now you guys know how much I love Vegas, and Crown Coins Casino has a huge catalog of Vegas style slots. The fun really is endless. It's the ultimate slots experience at your fingertips, and remember, some spins can get you closer to jackpots that could change your life in an instant. Plus, it's on a secure and trusted platform where your data and transactions are protected. And you know WhatCulture have got you covered. Sign up now and enjoy a free welcome bonus of 40,000 Crown Coins and 2 Sweeps coins to start spinning and winning today. So, will you dare to crown yourself a winner at Crown Coins Casino? Just click the link in the description below, dive into the action and join Crown Coins Casino today to start your journey towards exciting new experiences now. Play for free, win for real.
Number 7, LaVar Ball gets way too much creative freedom. Late 2010s didn't sound like a very fun time to be a WWE superstar, as you had to follow the playbook to the letter. This WWE style was very important to the powers that be, and it all felt very cookie cutter. You see wrestlers talk about this today. Forget that brass ring. The backstage atmosphere was very much one of trying not to lose your job. It was also a period where WWE brought in a lot of guest stars, including this episode of Raw. It was 2017, and businessman LaVar Ball must have been told he can do whatever he wanted. Sort of feels like he would have done this anyway, as his sole focus was turning his kids into NBA stars. I mean, it was proper any means necessary. So many people were talking about his actions in the mainstream, though. WWE invited him onto Miz TV, and my gosh, Ball's kids were there, but LaVar quickly took over, speaking louder than The Miz and cracking jokes as if he had been told he'd never be allowed to do this again. Forget that Miz was meant to be getting his feud with Dean Ambrose across. That went right out the window. Lonzo, the child, or the future NBA hopeful, just sat there as his dad took his shirt off when LaVar started swearing. All of this got picked up on a microphone, and eventually Ambrose was sent out to try and save this, and that didn't work at all. I mean, I think he was meant to be aligned with the Big Baller brand. Nobody heard that because there was too much noise. LaVar's language was deemed so offensive the WWE had to make a public apology too, and of course none of this was meant to happen. Ball just saw an opportunity, so he went with it, because what did he care? He also said that Miz stood for Misinterpreted Zone. To this day, I have no idea. The soon-to-be John Moxley must have been really sad about all this too. He'd been asking for more creative freedom for years. Nope. Then here's LaVar cutting a promo like it's 1999. Number 6, the first incarnation of NXT. It is so hard to explain this these days because everybody is so used to NXT as WWE's third proper brand. Well, when it was first born, it was a reality show. The NXT stood for next, as in who is the next big wrestling superstar. We're going to find out using a bunch of challenges and a random obstacle course. I mean, clearly you need to be good at those things to become a wrestler. This also included wheelbarrow races, test of strengths, and of course the forever popular promo battle out of nowhere. The contestants would be given a mundane object and had to talk about it as if they were about to fight it on pay-per-view. I mean, only then can we truly know who the next John Cena should be. Now, if you have ever tried this at home or in your car, you know the first few goes are awful. Takes a while to find your voice. Now imagine that times 10, because these guys were doing it in front of thousands of people. Poor Eli Cottonwood got the worst of this as he was given the word moustache, and yes, he chose to say only a real fighter has such facial hair, and even though he wasn't currently sporting a moustache, damn it, that's gonna change soon. I actually find this hysterical these days, but yes, the fans ate him alive. It actually sounded like he wasn't sure if he had a moustache or not. Question was why WWE chose to put this on TV, and I can tell you, my friends, it's all in the name of humiliation. Let's not pretend otherwise. This is what WWE thought would increase their ratings, and it didn't. And instead, potential stars quit because why bother with this? It was a losing battle. Number 5, the Charlotte Flair-Becky Lynch title swap. This is quite infamous now, because not only have both Charlotte and Becky spoken about it, but it also told the wider audience that the former best friends, well, maybe now they've had a falling out. It was the October 22, 2001 SmackDown, and WWE was still doing that dumb thing where they'd have a brand split, and for shock reasons they would move the champions around. Of course, you can't possibly have the Raw Women's belt on a blue brand, so Lynch and Flair were told to switch their gold on the show. Then General Manager Sonya Deville would make sure all this went smoothly, and it did not. Apparently Charlotte was worried she was going to look stupid, so when she went to pass her title across, she deliberately dropped it on the floor. Now go and look at Becky's face during this. She was so angry because that's not what had been discussed. To save face, both were going to trade the same way, so it didn't really feel like anybody had won the segment. Flair's reasoning was she wanted Lynch to pick it up, which would be demeaning in some way, but of course Sonya did it instead. And honestly, it kind of felt like Becky and Charlotte were going to fight. Apparently backstage they verbally did, they had a huge bust-up. So basically we had seen their rift get worse in the ring on live TV. That's mad, and because at first we thought this was the plan, it was widely lambasted. It was just so awkward and weird. Why would anybody book it this way? Well, we didn't. It was just nightmarish. But because I do have a chaotic side like Dr. Robotnik, it was also quite funny. Number 4, Kalisto does lucha things. It hurts me deep inside that WWE did not run with this. Kalisto may have flubbed his lines in 2016 after he was drafted back to SmackDown, and it all happened in the post-move interview. I'm not sure whether he was unprepared or was just too pumped, but after rambling on, he just blurted out, "It's all about good lucha things." Then he ran off. Literally, he bolted off camera. Now some people say this is hard to watch, but my friends, I disagree. If nothing else, it was the realest anybody had been on TV in ages, and the internet went mad about this. It was just so funny, and WWE should have made him Lucha Things Kalisto the next week. Instead, it was buried, and I would have bought a t-shirt at the very least. Of course, it was improvised though, and actually may have hurt the rest of the roster, because if you had been pushing for more unscripted interview opportunities, and then somebody in charge saw this, well, it makes it harder. It was so entertaining though. It kind of feels like we did drop the ball. Go good lucha things. Number 3, Shane McMahon versus The Miz at WrestleMania 39. So the big surprise at WrestleMania 39 is that when The Miz and Snoop Dogg were shouting at each other, which is a very strange sentence, Shane McMahon was going to make his big return and beat up The Miz. He then did a leapfrog, and when he landed on his leg, he pulled his quad. This was so similar to Vince McMahon at the Royal Rumble, nobody could believe it. I mean, talk about bad luck. Now, what followed is some of the greatest improvisation that's ever actually happened in WWE. We all remember this. Snoop Dogg became Bruno Sammartino or something, and basically ad-libbed his way to beating The Miz and even dropped a people's elbow. It should be given 6.25 stars in the Tokyo Dome. I actually want to reverse this though and go back to that Shane McMahon thing because it is glossed over so fast today. I know he was somewhat of a controversial figure, but can you imagine making your big return at WrestleMania and doing something as simple as a leapfrog when you did all of a sudden come back down to earth and poop, your muscle goes, not today, brother, and you just have to lay on the floor and kind of wriggle around like a worm. I was there and I had no idea what was going on, and it just made you feel so uncomfortable in your tum-tum, especially when you realized what was up. I always like to focus on the human side, and you don't want anybody to go through this sort of pain, especially because Shane McMahon's kids were there too. They were probably worried about their dad. You do have to give all the props to Snoop Dogg though, because again, you could throw him in there with John Cena and they would probably totally smash it, but in terms of a segment going from part 1 to the end, well yeah, it's absolutely something you do not want to happen on WrestleMania. Number 2, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton go off. This one was chatted about on WWE Unreal, so I guess we should take it with a pinch of salt. That show only wanted you to see what WWE wanted you to see. At the same time, you can't fake authentic reactions, and we think Charlotte was not happy with any of this. It was the SmackDown leading up to WrestleMania 41 where Flair and Stratton would compete for the women's title, and our next stop on the journey was Chicago. They decided they really didn't like Charlotte Flair though, and they booed her viciously, and it clearly rocked the Queen. You could hear it in her voice. Tiffany then joined as per usual, and I think because Flair was desperate to get her footing back, she started improvising. Also said that Tiffany Stratton was talking too squeaky and eventually just gave up. She said, "There's two you in Chicago, let's just get it done." She most definitely wasn't happy. Flair then still continued to interrupt Tiffany, and I suppose by that point Stratton decided it was an all gloves off situation because she told Charlotte she wasn't the queen of shit and also asked, "How many divorces have you had?" Stratton then legged it, I think she knew. We've all seen the footage too, and yeah, Tiffany is ordered to apologise because she had gone off script, and you shouldn't take shots like that. It was so bizarre this all played out on TV, but it also kind of worked. I had no idea what was real and what was wrestling, and that sort of tied into their Mania match too. Felt like they were actually scrapping. And I know it kind of drew a line down the middle of the audience, but this bald idiot thought it was great. Number 1, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre go off. So worst is unfair here unless we are going to throw it into the context of stomach churning. And I mean that in a good way. Like when you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, you cannot believe what's happening. We all remember that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre had a forever feud in 2024, however, which helped both their careers, and a huge reason for the success was their promos. I don't think they were told what to do or say, just make some money, and my gosh they did. We go to the March 25th Raw here that actually featured Seth Rollins too, but before the Visionary had come to the ring, Punk was yelling at Drew, who was sat on the announce table. After McIntyre reminded Punk he was once the chosen one, CM Punk simply asked, well, who chose you? Who was this paragon of virtue that has bestowed such an honor on your shoulders? And the crowd went very quiet because they knew the answer was Vince McMahon. Now, given the lawsuit hanging over McMahon's head, nobody was allowed to talk about him on television, and just you look at Drew's face. He's going through all the emotions, including contemplating whether he should respond. He decided against it, right choice. It is fascinating TV though, because it is real. If the characters of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre were having a proper argument, of course you'd say this. Nearly everything they did was so compelling because they improvised it and knew what they were doing. It's not like it derailed things either. Fans lost their minds for it afterwards, and it was soon granted the feud of the year. Not granted crowd, that's what I meant to say, but it goes to show sometimes you do have to trust the talent, and they would take that bat and they will smash it out the park. Know of any other times WWE went crazy with improvisation? Please let me know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. You can then click the video on the screen to get even more wrestling in your life. But otherwise, my friends, I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again very, very soon.